All right, hello again. This is Jeff Scott, your instructor for the Complete ASP.NET course. We're beginning our conversation or continuing our conversation on ASP.NET master pages. So what we're going to do is we're going to come into a file, new, website, and we're going to create an empty website as we've been doing for a lot of the stuff that we've been doing here. And we'll call this particular project master pages. Or a master page. All right. Now, we're going to do something we have not done before, and that is, as we come in here, we're going to right mouse click and choose Add, as we've done, and we're going to choose Add New Item, but what we're going to choose in here this time, if I can find it, there we go, is a master page. We're going to leave the default name on there, masterpage.master. All right, we'll place the code in a separate file, and there's no master page to select. All right, so I'm going to click Add, and you're going to see a few things that we have not seen previously. All right, and you might say, like what? Well, we don't have a page directive here now. We have a master directive, and that is showing that what we're working on right here is a master page. Other than that, taking a quick look at it, how does it look different from what we've talked about before? Well, we've got the doc type, we've got the HTML, got our head. This stuff looks pretty similar. But what's different is, if you'll notice, we've got a couple things in here. This says ASP Content Placeholder, and what we typically end up putting inside of this, it's a placeholder. In other words, it's going to hold something for us. What we end up putting in there, if we want to, are CSS, JavaScript files that we want to be able to share, all right, amongst different pages that we have. All right. So again, the master page looks somewhat like a normal ASPX page. It's got the static HTML, like the HTML tag, the head tag, etc. It can contain other ASP.NET Server controls. It can contain other HTML controls. But this is not a true ASPX page, in that the browser cannot request this page directly. Again, a master page is a template. And it's a template for what we really want, and that is to put information into what's called the content pages. The content pages are basically going to be normal ASPX files, except they're going to be connected to the master page using a master page attribute. All right. So, for right now, we're not even going to put anything in here. All right. But what I am going to do is I'm going to come in and I'm going to right mouse click on here again. I'm going to choose Add, and I'm going to choose Web Form. In fact, we don't want to do it that way. Add New Item, and we're going to choose Web Form. All right, as we get through here. And where is that? There we go. And that'll be our default. But this time, for the first time, we're going to choose Select Master Page and Add. And it will be asked what master page, because you can have multiple master pages. All right, we only have one, so that's the one we're going to link up to, and we're going to click OK. Now, if you look, this looks a lot different from what we've seen before. All right, we've got our title, but now it tells us the master page file that we're linking up to. And again, we've got these placeholders in here. We're going to come back to these in just a couple minutes, and we're going to start making some changes. All right. You may or may not have noticed, as we look at the content placeholder IDs, they are pointing to the content placeholder that we have had, or that we defined on the master page. All right, so there's content 1, there's content 2. And here we've got content placeholder 1. All right. And we're going to see how all of this stuff links up in just a minute. You've got to realize, though, that when we run the program, the markup from the master page and the content page, as I showed you previously back in here, is they're going to be fused or merged together and then sent to the browser. All right. Now, one thing I didn't do that I really should have, okay, one thing I did not do that I really should have is when we came in here, okay, although I didn't do it, we really should get used to, in fact, just to clean everything up, I'm going to remove everything that I've created. We haven't invested really anything in here yet anyway. All right. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to come in here and first I'm going to create a new folder. And I want you to realize when we create a new folder, if I create a new folder, which is that I'm going to choose the one that's highlighted right there. That's just a folder that has no special significance to ASP.NET. But if I add an ASP.NET folder and include a bin or app code, etc., these are things that have special meaning to ASP.NET. But I just want to come in here and I'm going to call this master pages. All right. What I'm trying to do is I'm trying to show you how you should link things up together. All right. And I'm trying to provide a little semblance of order in here. So now I'm going to right mouse click, choose add new item. And I'm going to come and find my master page, and I'll leave it master page.master. I don't want to select a master page, but I want to place the code in a separate file, and I'm going to click add. I've got exactly what I had before. I'm going to come in here, I'm going to right mouse click on here, choose add, and choose add new item, and add a web form, which will be my default. Now I will select the master page, click add. All right, and link it up. All right, so I did the same thing that I did before, but I'm trying to provide a little semblance of order for lack of better words here. All right. All right, let's switch back then to our master page. Okay? Okay, now we're going to come into our master page here and we're going to start putting some information into that master page. All right? So don't worry about the content placeholders because we're going to discuss them in depth as we go on in here. But I'm going to come in here and I'm going to give this div, I'm going to give it an ID. And I'm going to call it wrapper because it's going to wrap our page up, and you oftentimes do things like this. All right, let's put a header in here. We're going to try to make this look as much as we can like an HTML5 document. Oops. Yeah, we'll do it like that. For right now, we're just not going to have this go anyplace, so it'll just stay where it is. And that's fine. And we'll call that header area. Okay. All right, so there's our header area. This will be our navigation area, so our menu area will be right there. And we'll change this around as we go on in here. So let's see. What else do we want to put in here? Well, we're going to need an area for main content. So let's put that in as a section. All right. And since we're putting it in as a section, it's going to hold our main content. Why don't we call it what it is? So let's call it main content. All right. And why don't we take this, and now we'll move that content placeholder. We'll put that in here. All right. And for now, we'll just put down main. I don't really want to put anything in there because that's going to change every time. So we'll just leave that blank. All right. And finally, well, what else do we want in here? If we wanted to, we could put an aside in here. All right. We'll give that an ID also. And oftentimes, since it's a sidebar, we'll just call it what it is. So we'll call it sidebar. And we'll put, I don't know, sidebar. Okay. And then finally, we'll come in and we'll add our footer area. All right. So what have we done? Okay. First thing I want to show you as we save this is if I come in here, all right, and I go into onto my default page, doesn't really look any different. All right. But let's go and run the default page. And it doesn't look like very much right now. We've got a header area, a menu area, a sidebar area, and a footer area. Like I said, as of right now, it doesn't look like very much. All right. Why? Because we've done absolutely no CSS with it. So we'll go and we'll add that in the next lesson. But what I want to show you before we do that is if I come in here and I stop the run, and I decide I'm going to add a second page. So let's say we wanted to add, I don't know, maybe an about page. So I'm going to right mouse click on here and I'm going to choose add, and I'm going to choose add new item, and again web form, but we'll just change this to about.aspx. We want our code in a separate file. We want to select our master page. I'm going to click add, tell it that we want that master page. And you'll notice it's not really going to look any different. In fact, if I go and run, I'm on the About page now. Okay? So if I come in here on my About page and I run it, it looks exactly, right now it looks exactly. You can see it says About there. And I'm going to come back just to prove it one last time and go back to the default page. Okay? And well, you're going to have to take my word for it, I guess, but we can run it in a different browser, I guess. It doesn't want me to run it more than once right now because of the way I've got this set up. But if we look in here, you'll notice that's our About page. About.aspx, main area, menu, sidebar, footer. Okay? And if we stop it and we run the default page, all right, so if we run that page, it looks exactly the same. We're going to start to change that in the next lesson.